is it?
It's Grady. Delbert Grady.
Hello, Grady.
I see you can hardly have taken care of the business we discussed.
Well, if you're talking about the review for The Shining, I was just going to start it.
I wonder. I have my doubts.
No, really, I was just going to start it. I mean, I was going to sit down and actually start doing it.
Others have come to believe that your heart is not in this, that you haven't the belly for it.
I'll deal with that right now. And later on, after you've subscribed, you can check it out. Go check it out! Go check it out! Yeah, I'll show that Grady. Alright. Time to write the script. That is not the correct script. Shut up. Who the hell's talking to you? This guy's a complete creep. Alright, no more fucking around.
I've only ever met a few people in my life that have never seen this movie, and it baffles me. It's truly one of the greats. It takes a genius of a filmmaker to create a movie that really takes its sweet-ass time building towards a crescendo. It never really seems to arrive. Everyone calls it a slow burner. But after watching it about 400 times, I've changed my opinion over the years. The whole movie seems to be climactic. Maybe it's Jack Nicholson's virtual one-man performance, portraying a character who is on such a steep descent into madness that somehow you even knew that without the hotel, the guy was going to go batshit sooner or later. So let's get to it. Jack and Wendy, who will never qualify as the couple of the year, take their son, who's kind of weird and talks to his finger, on a journey to live in a hotel for the winter. Jack, who based on the book is a talented but struggling writer, trying to come to terms with his abusive past, alcoholism, and a recent occurrence where, in a drunken stupor, he dislocates his son's shoulder, tries to put that all behind them by going on the wagon and taking a job in a secluded hotel for 5 months. He reasons that with all the peace and quiet, he'll be able to finish a writing project and heal the wounds of his past and present and start fresh. He secures the position with a relatively good interview and then goes home to fetch his family for what is sure to be a nice day in an isolated winter wonderland. Well, during the tour of the property, they run into the chef, Dick Halloran, who recognizes that Danny has a special gift for reading thoughts and seeing the future.
How'd you like some ice cream, Doc?
His grandmother called it shining, and wastes no time in getting the kid alone so he can tell him that if anything happens in this freaky ghost-filled hotel, to just shine at him and he'll come rescue them. A decision I'm sure he regrets later. So it skips ahead a month and things seem to be going well. The weather is perfect, Danny and his mother are outside having fun and exploring the hedge maze. Meanwhile, with almost no explanation as to why, we see Jack just standing there and staring into the abyss. That's pretty fucked up. To me, this is the turning point of the movie. Jack seemed a little off before, maybe a little eccentric. But watching him glaring straight through the haunted, maniacal atmosphere of that hotel, you know you're fucked and get ready for the roller coaster ride. From there on in, the middle chapters of the movie does seem a little dull with sporadic shocking scenes, like Danny almost running over the ghosts of 2 little girls whose father, previous caretaker that we learned during the interview, hacked them up with an axe along with the wife before sucking a couple of bullets out of a double-barrel shotgun. We see Wendy trying to talk all CB expert to the forest rangers, and then boom, things start to get good as Jack suddenly comes out of his silent staring routine to share his newfound insanity with the rest of the family. He just fucks her up every chance he gets, before finally arriving at the ballroom to find out the real secrets of the hotel and get his marching orders from the previous caretaker himself, Delbert Grady. I never really understood why the caretakers have to murder their families. The only brief wedge of an explanation is that the wives and children didn't really care for the place, which I guess I can certainly see the need to chop them up into little bits with an axe. Meanwhile, Danny, who's not as dumb as he looks, uses all the energy he has to shine at Dick all the way down in Florida. He uses so much energy that it puts him into a temporary catatonic state, leaving Wendy concerned for his long-term health, and leaves him long enough to go and try and reason with her husband and get Danny to a doctor. Jack has other ideas, like showing Wendy that his cheese is now completely slid off its cracker, and the two of them have a very one-sided argument. This is one of the best scenes in the movie. This slow back and forth between the two of them as they languidly waltz their way up the staircase doesn't end well for Jack. Annoying as she is, Wendy did have the bat and knew exactly how to connect. After she drags an unconscious and possibly half-dead Jack into the pantry and locks him in, he has to completely ball-polish Grady before he lets him out with the promise that he presents 2 diced corpses at dinner that night. Incidentally, there's a great sidebar theory as to exactly how Jack gets out of the pantry. Did a ghost really open that door, or was it Ullman the manager? The most memorable scene ensues when a now free Jack, accompanied with a sharpened and shiny axe in hand, starts chopping his way through doors, only to be stopped by Wendy again.
Here's Johnny!
As she almost succeeds in adding severed hand to his list of medical conditions that now includes a possible concussive dent in his head from that baseball bat, and herpes from necking with that half-rotten corpse in the bathroom. Dick the cook, who got Danny's long-distance shine, came on the run via plane, car, and snowcat. Jack hears him pulling up and says, "Fuck it. I'm not going to let this axe go to waste." Too bad his shining couldn't tell him there was a freshly filed blade just waiting with his name on it. Jack then chases Danny into the snow-covered hedge maze, and Danny, again, not as dumb as he looked, had mastered the hedge maze before the snow, maybe with the premonition that he'd have to lead his father in there at some point in order to save him and his mom. Predictably, Jack freezes to death in the hedge maze, and the movie concludes with the other most talked about scene and the theories surrounding it. That long zoom-in of a single photograph in the hotel, and as you get closer, you realize it's Jack, in a photo from 1921 showing guests celebrating the 4th of July. I'm going to leave that one alone because the theories are a cottage industry all on their own and would add at least 6 hours to this video. This movie completely defies designation. It's just a horror movie, but the debate will always rage on as to what subgenre it should fall under. Psychological, paranormal, well, you decide. But only from the mind of someone like Stanley Kubrick could come such an offering. It's called a masterpiece, and rightly so. It's not the scariest, the goriest, or the freakiest. It's a standalone movie, and its merits will dazzle and confuse audiences and fans for thousands of years.